Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I wanted to address certain modifications that I've added to my workouts throughout the pregnancy. So for those of you who have been following along, I am now in my third trimester or final trimester, which is definitely the growth phase. That's typically when a lot of women put on the weight, or not just the weight but the size. So some modifications do have to be made, so I thought I'd address those today and share with you guys what I've been doing. And then this video also might be helpful for people who struggle with lower back problems, because a lot of the problems that pregnant women struggle with is lower back problems due to the extra weight on the front. So I hope you find this video helpful, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Enjoy it. So for this first modification, this is a modified plank. Normally I would be completely suspended on both my feet and my arms, but since there is so much extra weight on my front, I am now using my knees to take some of the pressure off of my abdominal muscles and my pelvic muscles so I do not injure anything. The second modification is a mountain climber elevated. The reason it is elevated is because it takes some of the pressure again off of the front or the stomach. Since I do have so much extra weight pulling me down in the front, it's important to protect that area to avoid injury. And then this next exercise is a glute bridge, and this is important for anyone not only pregnant but also with lower back pain. When you're pregnant, you have so much extra weight in the front that it tends to weaken the glute muscles, which will cause lower back pain. This is also a major cause of back pain in people in general. This next exercise is just a simple wall sit. It strengthens the legs and as well as the glutes. This is great again for relieving lower back pain, and it's completely safe because you're leaning up against the wall. Try and do 30 to 40 seconds if possible. This next exercise is called a thruster. The biggest modification you want to make here is you want a nice wide stance. Reason being, there is so much extra belly in the front and you want to leave room for it and avoid any extra pain or pull on your hip muscles. This is just a simple goblet squat, holding the weight in front of you. Again, keep a nice wide stance. Put the emphasis on your heels. You should never feel any pain in your knees or your lower back. Make sure you lean forward and lean into your heels as you do this squat. So I wanted to kind of wrap it up and address some other modifications that I've been making as I've been progressing through this pregnancy. And some of the main modifications is obviously using less weight. Before I got pregnant, I was able to deadlift almost 200 pounds and squat 200 pounds. Obviously, I'm not doing that anymore. I've also kind of dialed back the barbell work because although the barbell is very effective at burning calories and building muscle, it also puts a lot of load on your spine. And since I already have the extra weight, as well as especially the weight on the front pulling on my spine, I don't want to put any more emphasis on the spine than already is there. So myself and my trainer have chosen to do very little barbell work, and if we do it, we don't put any weight on the bar, so that way it relieves back pain. Also, I've done more front squats with the barbell as opposed to back squats, so that the barbell isn't sitting directly on my spine. Other modifications besides lowering the weights in the barbells is the time. I used to work out anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. Now, some days it's 30 minutes of an EMOM plus a walk. So a lot less intense, a lot shorter, but the EMOM style has really worked well for me because what you do is you set your timer and it's every minute on the minute. So you get those 12 reps in, you rest, and once the 60 seconds are up, you move on to the next exercise. So I usually pair 2 exercises together. So say 1 superset or 2 exercises equals a total of 8 minutes, and then I'll switch to the next one. So total, the workout takes about 24 minutes. And then sometimes I'll throw in some extra pelvic floor work or glute work at the end, because that's really important to strengthen while you're pregnant, because it'll help with labor, delivery, pushing, as well as recovery afterwards. Also, I'm still doing very mild core work because you don't want to do any kind of crunches or things that could potentially cause your abdominal muscles to split, because that is very common. I mean, think about how much extra weight is pulling you forward and how much you have to grow in just one area of your body. So it's very common for the abdominal muscles in pregnant women to split, and that's called diastasis recti. And it does heal, but it does take anywhere from a year plus to heal afterwards. So if I could avoid that, I would like to avoid that at all costs. And then in some rare cases, that does lead to possible surgery. So it's important to protect yourself from injuries like that could be potentially preventable. Not always. Sometimes it's just too much load on your body and the muscles have to split. So very light core work, and it's mainly the transverse abdominis, which is the muscle that runs across your stomach, and that is going to help with pushing during the delivery process. So it's important to have that strong. So the 2 main muscle groups that you want to focus on while pregnant is that muscle, the transverse abdominis, as well as your glute muscles and your pelvic floor muscles, because that is going to make for a more, I wouldn't say easier delivery, but in a sense, yes. It could speed up the delivery process, and it will definitely speed up the recovery process. So those you want to strengthen with the glute bridges and the planks and the mountain climbers, things like that. And then most of all, you want to keep your endurance up, because labor can last who knows how long, sometimes 40 hours. And that's a long time to be exerting a lot of physical strength and energy. So if you do not have a high endurance, you'll be more likely to kind of fall off your birth plan and maybe possibly lead to a C-section that wasn't necessary, things like that. So keep up your endurance, walk regularly, and work out at least 3 to 5 times a week. And it doesn't have to be more than 30 minutes. It doesn't have to be spectacular, but it's important to stay active. So those are my main modifications that I've been making, and mainly just listening to my body. So if my stomach starts to hurt, if I start to feel an extra pull, I'll stop doing an exercise. Or if my hips start to hurt excessively because of the ligaments getting stretched, I'll stop doing a certain exercise. It's really just about listening and feeling what feels good and what feels right for you, because everyone's different. There's women that do extreme CrossFit all the way up to delivery, and then there's women that are bedridden. So it really just depends on your pregnancy, what your doctor says is safe, and then what you feel is safe. So listen to your body, be smart. Nobody knows your body better than you do, and we're designed to go through a lot, so you're tougher than you think. But I hope you found this video helpful as far as modifications, but always feel free to reach out. I'm always trying to find new ways and new exercises to do to stay active during these last 7 weeks, so I'd be happy to share some of those with you. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day.